everybody, it's Meg from Books Off the Beaten Path. And first off, let me explain to you why I look like this. Because I look like a staticky mess. I got stuck in a rainstorm. I don't know how many of you track the weather in Okie dokie. You may or may not. But we've been having monsoon season lately. And I got stuck. I had a meeting at church and I had to wait outside for Father Steve to let me in, and pouring rain and everything like that, and I couldn't find an umbrella anymore. And since that time, I have looked like a very pale, one of those dolls. Do you remember, I don't know if they were dolls really, but it was like a pencil, and you rub the pencil and the doll's hair just went everywhere. So I'm trying to move past it. It looks so bad. Oh. Okay, today we are here to do my review of L.M. Montgomery's Anne of Green Gables. Now, what are we drinking today? We're going to have a Modelo with it, and to go along with the crappy state of my hair, it is a rodeo beer today. So, which I'm not pleased about. And if you know, you know. Leave me in the comments if you know what a rodeo beer is. So I'll have a sip of my rodeo beer. And we will get into it. Now, first thing we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about Heather's review. Heather reviewed Anne of Green Gables. It was a buddy read between the two of us. And let me tell you, it was hands down her best review ever. If you want to know about the author, about the history of the island, about the whole history of the book, really, then you need to go check out Heather's review, because I don't have any of that. It was hands down the best review I think she's ever done. It was insightful, it was informative, it was wonderful. And now we're going to do my review with the questions that Heather has composed for me. And Heather did all the questions. Oh, I have to pause a second. I think hubby's coming in. Yes, it was hubby coming in. So I had to chat with him for a couple of minutes. You do that, you know, when people you love come home. How was your day? What did you do? Yada, yada, yada. So anyway, I've done that. And now we are going to do my review of Anne of Green Gables. This book is a coming-of-age story. It was written in, I want to say, 1908. I want to say, yeah, first published in 1908. It's got a wonderful, my copy's got a wonderful softback feel to it. I love the cover. This is about a brother and a sister who decide that they want to get a little boy from an orphanage to help out at the farm. But signals get crossed and they don't get a little boy. They get Anne Shirley, a fiery redhead little girl. And she comes into their lives and changes the lives of all around her. And one of the things, when we first meet Anne, I'm thinking to myself, I'm not going to like this book because this girl will not be quiet. She just talks and talks and talks and talks and talks and like nonsensical things and everything. But as you go on, it becomes charming and not annoying. Like you wouldn't expect Anne to do anything else. Anne is a force to be reckoned with. She is someone that really a girl could model herself after. I just want to give you two brief examples of that. The first example is that at one point they have this teacher at the school who's not very good, and he's making the moves on the older girls, which is kind of icky and everything, but he puts her in the dunce's corner. And also there's Gilbert there, who is a student, and she gets mad at Gilbert. And she comes home and she tells the lady taking care of her, let me get that, Mariella? I don't know, Mariella, I think. She tells Mariella, she's like, I'm not going back to school. Nope, not gonna do it. And I admire that so much. And then the other incident that I wanted to talk about was that at one point during her adventure, she takes a dare and she climbs up onto a roof and she falls off the roof, as we all knew she was going to do, and she breaks her ankle. And so she can't go to school for a while. She's bedbound. So all of the kids from the school at one point or another visit her. The parson's wife visits her. All sorts of people visit her. They are drawn like a moth to a flame to Anne Shirley because she's so vivacious. And she's so, excuse me about that rodeo bark, and she is so captivating. I found her very captivating. And I found the character arc as she grows older to be accurate, heartfelt. She has all these dreams. She has all these things that she makes up, like the haunted wood or being a pirate or something like that. But really, in essence, she's a homebody. She loves Green Gables. Green Gables is the name of the farm. She loves Green Gables. She loves bringing the cows in on the sunset evenings, and she loves the spring and the winters and the Octobers. I would hate to live in a world without Octobers. Famous quote from the book. L.M. Montgomery she saturates the book with color and description of the landscape and the scenery around her. And it's just stunning. If I could write descriptions like this, I mean, wow, that would be pretty impressive. But do I recommend it? Oh yes, I recommend it. I recommend it for any age. I actually think it reads more to me like an adult book, not like there's anything racy in it, but it reads more to me like an adult book than a children's book. Of course, we all know that children in 1908 were reading Latin and everything like that, and we've sort of fallen down on the educational spiral. But it's looking back at a time period which is much more simple, but this young woman's life, because she grows from a child to a young woman, and she becomes a savior figure. She goes from being a waif to being a savior figure. And I was so moved when the book ended. I literally lay there in my bed in quiet, and let it wash over me. It was that good. So if you haven't read it, you really need to read it. Okay, let's do the questions. Rodeo beer. I should be drinking tea, but I am drinking rodeo beer. Okay, describe your first impressions of Anne Shirley. Well, my first impressions were that she irritated me. She irritated me at first with all of that talking. And she's not portrayed to be a particularly pretty little girl. Everything, she's got ravishing red, but like orangey red hair and lots of freckles and everything like that. So at first she irritated the heck out of me. But as I read on and she grew on me, I couldn't imagine her being anything but wonderful. She would be a wonderful friend. Before you started the book, did you have any idea what kind of story this would be? No, I really didn't. I actually thought, because I never read it. I never read it as a child or anything like that. And I thought it was going to be one of those books, and maybe it is, where middle-aged women play dress-up, you know, like they do with Jane Austen. And if you're one of those people who does that, that's totally fine. You're right, and I'm completely wrong. But I thought it was going to be just kind of almost a comedy of manners was what I thought it was going to be. I didn't think it was going to be a life well told, which is what it was. It was a life. Did you find that there was anything which made the book seem Canadian, or could Anne's story have been told exactly as it was but put in Gables somewhere in the United States during the same time period? Well, it couldn't have been put in Okie Dokie because we were just a state in 1907, and we were pretty raucous back then. But no, I don't think it could be anywhere else. I think that the island that they're on is mythic. Okay, my phone storage got full, so I kind of forgot where I was because I had to mess with my phone a little bit. But I think my last question was, do I think it could have been set anywhere else? No. I think Prince Edward's Island is perfect for it. It's a mythical place. It's a beautiful place. And it does feel Canadian. It feels, because, you know, the Canadians are so nice. Like, I've never met one, but they always seem so nice on TV. So if you're Canadian, I bet you're nice. I know Heather is. Okay, name 2 characters, not including Anne Shirley, who really shone for you. I loved Diane. Is it Diane or Diana? Her best friend. I loved her. I thought she was wonderful. Diana, with her trying to be, she goes along with Anne, and it's like a Peter Pan situation. She is just whisked along, but she herself has her own dreams and aspirations and everything, and I loved Diana. And then the other one that I loved was Matthew. How could you not love Matthew? Matthew at one point realizes that Anne's dresses are not as pretty as some of the other girls, and she deserves a pretty dress. And so he's a quiet man. There's very little dialogue with him, but he buys her this very pretty dress. And I just was so moved by that. He is the mystic character of it because he's always sort of off in the distance, but you always feel his presence. You feel his presence in Green Gables quite a bit. And I loved Matthew, and I loved Diane. Did you know there were 7 more Anne books written by Ellen Montgomery, and would you be interested to read them? Well, I've read Anne of Avonlea, where she, spoiler alert, marries Gilbert. I've read that one, and I love that one. Would I read 7 more? No, I don't think so. It's so thick with, as I said, description and with character arc and everything like that. And I was so moved by it. I was physically moved by it that I don't know that I could expect that from each book and then I would be disappointed. So no, I don't want to read any more. I have one and done. I have read it. I've always wanted to read it. Now I can take it off my bucket list that I have read it. And I highly recommend it. I wanted to show you one other thing before I got off the YouTube. This is a pen, and it's a very important pen because my hubby bought me this pen for Mother's Day. And it is one of the best pens. It's called an acro pen, of which I have started writing another story. And this one's nonfiction, so it's not really a story, but it's about my love of reading and the books that I have moved me and changed me and everything like that. But what do I use that pen on, you ask? Well, I use it on this. Isn't this beautiful? hubby bought me this too for our anniversary, and he even wrote in it, which he never does, but it says, "Happy anniversary, hope you enjoy your present." You see that? Hubby is a man of few words, but he gets it right every time. Every time. In the meantime, I am reading a cozy mystery. And then after that, I think I'm going to delve into a little more Anne Rice. I haven't read Anne Rice in a while, and I finally got that copy of The Vampire Lestat. So I think I'm going to read that. But I'm not sure yet, you know. Things ebb and flow, ebb and flow. But thank you so much for subscribing, and thank you so much for listening. And if I can figure out how to link Heather's video, I certainly will do that, because I did not do justice to this book. This book was 5 stars, 10 stars, and stars against a black velvet sky. Beautiful. All right, that's all I have to say, and I will check you later.